Isaac Soldotna. I've come to you guys before about this. It's not so much about the Parks and Rec. That's a great start, but this is about public in general. I've spoken about this before, calling the law enforcement officers, asking if I could put a sock over my junk, cover my anus. Wife wears pasties and a thong. We're gonna go chill in the children's park, and our officers' hands are tied because we don't have anything for that. So, I'm gonna start right here. You said in the email, can we look at the contract clause, sexual explicit or what might be considered X-rated performances not be permitted in an open venue like that? That is in your email. So you labeled the performance as explicit, possibly X-rated. You even asked what could be done, but never took any further action. Again, you said, I have served on this council as mayor for 9+ years, and an incident like this has generated the most emails and phone calls of any single event other than the proposed mask mandate and annexation. It generates this attention, and you guys aren't addressing it. No one's addressing it, bringing it up, and silencing the public. Again, it was said in an email by you, if this performance had taken place in a venue where only those attending would be viewing it, this discussion and controversy would not be happening. You are absolutely correct. Then you say again in another email, because this performance took place in an open venue in the park where many people were subject to viewing, even a small portion of it, I have to agree it was inappropriate for it to have taken place there. So you believe it's inappropriate, you work for the people, yet you do nothing. It's time for us to do our job. I have something for each of you, but I'm gonna come over to Justin Ruthridge as well. So he spoke to my wife and I for almost a month about this issue, during which time, and through 2 city meetings, you've done nothing. You never took a public stance, and nothing was ever done. You said you heard the people, and it was 50-50. No, it was not. You heard the LGBT community say they want their rights. They got them. What you missed is us asking for verbiage covering public obscenities, which has nothing to do with any group. Even the LGBT community thinks it's an attack on them, and it's not. This is about public indecency. You'd never checked any of the emails. If you checked the emails, you said it was 50-50. That would be about 50-1. I have all the emails and I can back that up. I've recorded a number of our conversations where you've told us it's not on the agenda. We show up, it is on the agenda. You did nothing there. You told my wife, you said that you were waiting for lawyers' guidelines, did nothing. You've spoken a lot about what you're going to do, but you haven't done anything. Now I see that the producers of this event and others are supporting your other campaign, and now it's all making sense to me. You strung us along, and I don't appreciate that. I do feel that you misdirected us and lied to us, and I don't appreciate that. You said that it would take a year to put an ordinance in, when that is also not true.
Thank you. Who's next? Sir. Please state your name and name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Josh Silzo. I live in Salamatzoff neighborhood. Father of 6 kids in Soldotna, owner of a business. I want to talk about the need to protect our children and families from sexually charged content in public spaces. I want to begin by sharing a few professionally vetted facts for the benefit of the council as well as the public present to illustrate why I think this is a matter of public concern, based on the premise that the exposure of children to sexually explicit material, whether it's lewd dance performances or internet porn, is part of the grooming process that provides pedophiles with a field of vulnerable victims. Our community has enough problems with the sexual exploitation of children without inviting more. I will include a couple of citations so you don't think I'm just making this stuff up. First of all, from Focus, the Journal of Lifelong Learning and Psychology. This is a peer-reviewed professional psychological journal. Pedophiles may engage in a wide range of sexual acts with children. Generally, pedophiles do not use force to have children engage in these activities, but instead rely on various forms of psychic manipulation and desensitization. For example, progression from innocuous touching to inappropriate touching, or showing sexually explicit material to children. It also notes that 50 to 70% of pedophiles display other paraphilia to include transvestitism, which for those of us that aren't initiated means dressing up like a drag queen. Quoting from an article called Child Molesters, a behavioral analysis for law enforcement officers investigating cases of child sexual exploitation, from the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs. This is a publication of the Department of Justice designed to guide law enforcement officers in protecting their communities from the sexual exploitation of children. Child molesters show sexually explicit material to children. Any adult who shows sexually explicit material to children of any age should be viewed with suspicion as a child molester. This is generally part of the seduction process in order to lower inhibitions. I understand that coming up with the right language to protect our public spaces may take some time. But I'd like to see the council take at least a token action tonight to send a message I hope we all can agree on, and maybe allay the fears and concerns of some parents present in this audience today. I'll turn to you, Mr. Ruffridge. I'd like to ask you to put forward a resolution to this council condemning pedophilia, pedophiles, and pedophilic behavior, to include the deliberate exposure of children to sexually explicit material in our community. And if you refuse, I'll open my invitation to any member of this council who agrees that this is harmful for children and families here in Saldana. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Sir? Please state your
My name
and
is
address
Zeke
for the-
Johnston. I live at 34218 Poppywood on K Beach. I'm a small business owner. I've got 4 kids. This is the 3rd time you guys have seen me here. And there's some comments about us looking like rough looking dudes in the back. We're actually pretty soft most of the time. But you have a situation on your hands, and I'm not implying anything violent. What I am implying is that you've got a whole bunch of concerned fathers and husbands and business owners and people in this community that you've not heard from before until now. And what I heard from the city manager sounds like it's just not important enough. You're pushing it off even further. Justin, I have nothing against you. I've been to your pharmacy when I've had surgeries and stuff. I told you I was going to vote for you, and I didn't, because you won't stand up. Part of being a man and a leader is being willing to stand openly on what you believe. So in leadership, if you aren't sure where you stand, that's fine. If you oppose me, that's fine too. But I would really like to hear some clear stances on people that are asking for my vote. So I'm hoping that as we continue to show up at these, we're going to keep showing up, even if you guys push it back to the fall and doing something about this, but we're going to keep showing up until then. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Thank you, sir. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name's John Schumer from Soldotna. I too am a business owner in town, and I also feel the same as the rest of these guys you're here. Having that sort of sexual explicit stuff in our community is unacceptable. We cannot stand for that. We have to stand up against it. I'm not telling them what they have to do or can't do in their home. What they choose to do at home is up to them. What I choose to do, I teach my children about God. I'm a Christian. I lead them that way at home. Now, I know we can't go into the schools. We can't do that. Well, I feel the same way. If I can't take my faith, then they need to leave theirs at home too. Having them bring in, I'm extremely upset. My heart just beating. And I don't think it's because I'm sitting in front of you. It's because of the situation we're in. The situation that we can have people explicitly dressed, run around the parks, run around town with nothing to be done, and people not caring to do something about it. We have to care more. We have to protect our children. Right now, we're in the whole world. The entire country is a mess, in my opinion. We have federal government and everyone else pushing that we have to bow down to people's agenda that we don't agree with. What they do at their home, that's up to them. But for them to push that on us and tell us we're bigots and we're wrong and we're racist or we're anything else because we have a belief that we want to stand for, that we want to protect our children, That is garbage. We will stand up. And it's not because we're against them. I love them. I care for them. I want what's best for them. And I don't go preach to them and tell them what they can and can't do. But they need to treat us with the same respect. Okay?
Any other comments? Please state your name and address for the record.
Eric
You'll have
Ugarte,
3 minutes.
116 West Redoubt. What you all doing is what I grew up in the gang doing. You guys are all part of it. When we grew up in the gang, we're desensitized to it. The homeboys, we see the homeboys selling drugs, we see the homeboys doing drive-bys. We're used to it. It becomes normal. That's the same thing you guys are doing. And it's wrong. You guys work for us. You seem to forget. You're going up to run for the House, and you say that you're a man of the people. You say that you're a man who listens. When your employees speak to you, you should look at them, sir. Because I am your boss, Justin. You know, but just so everyone can see, he won't show. And that's okay. At least the mayor will look at me. So what I'm saying is, why is it being pushed off? You're not gonna get rid of us. You're not gonna get rid of us. This ain't a threat. You ain't gonna get rid of us. We're gonna be here every meeting. We're gonna make sure you guys go home late. Because we're gonna be here. And all of your days are numbered. All of your numbered. Because you guys are going with, you said that you listened to the 50-50. I read those emails. My wife did too. Anybody who's gotten them, and then they try to shut us down by making us pay $500. You know what I mean? That's abuse of the city. That's abuse. But you know what? You guys think you can do whatever you want? That's cool. Have your fun. But you really, really upset the community. And one thing you guys got to remember is that there's a lot of people in jail who are not happy with what's going on. Those are the people that you should be careful of. Because those people, they're in there for a reason. And they feel that they can't protect their kids out here, so they expect the community to do it. So I'm saying, no, ma'am, I'm still talking. I still have my minute and 4.
Mayor Whitney, it's a rule of this body not to take personal threats, not to make testimony personal. I'm trying to understand the context of saying there are a lot of people in jail that are not satisfied, and I'm taking issue with this because our city staff have been threatened. The lady that waters the flowers.
Do you know anybody that's in jail?
And I
now?
just think that we need to bring we need to maintain decorum so that everybody can participate in this process.
I'm asking questions, ma'am. And
Okay.
I'm telling you because
I'm trying
I
to
know
understand
people
the
in the NA who are in jail, and I'm just letting you know what I've heard from them.
Enough.
I'm not telling you enough, sir.
Enough.
I'm not being.
We're not going to be talking about. That's enough, Mr. Ugarte. Thank you very much. We'll see you later. We have listened to many, many comments from everyone. And we respect your comments. We're not here to debate. We're going to be having some work done on this issue. It's going to take some time. It's going to be presented to everyone. It's going to be done in a peaceful way. What Mr. Ugarte just went through is more of a threat to everyone. Not just everyone who's sitting up here, but everyone who's sitting out there. That kind of behavior creates more problems than it solves. We've listened to you, your concerns. We're going to be doing something. It's going to be looked at. It's going to be done in such a way that it will withstand any legal challenges. It does not do any good to sit here and listen to comments and telling us, threatening everyone in this community about this. There's no reason for anyone on this council to pass any ordinance that cannot withstand a legal challenge. If we pass something just because somebody says, we don't want that in here, and a week later it's challenged, what have we accomplished? When we have a court that will throw it out, and it'll cost the taxpayers God knows how much money to defend something that is undefensible. So the work's being done. It's being done in a way that it's going step by step by step. You will all have the opportunity, once that ordinance is put together and those policy guidelines are put together, to speak it to those, not only in front of this body, but in front of the Parks and Rec. The Parks and Rec Committee can go ahead and make changes to that or make recommendations for changes. Then it will come back to this body. It does not do any good for anyone on either side of the issue to make threats or go personal attacks on any of us. And you know, we're better than that. You're better than that. So please, you know, state your views. We'll listen. So, all right, we'll go back to public comments. We'll have one more for public comment. Thank you, sir. Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Joel Smith, 35390 Rieger. I grew up in this town. I was born in Soldotna, the hospital, and grew up playing in the local parks. And this was never something I would ever expected that I would see as a kid. Playing on the swing set at Farnsworth Park, going down by the river at there by the river park. I have 2 little 3-year-old girls, and I haven't taken them to the park recently. I'd like to, and I'm not necessarily concerned that that's what we're going to see today, but it happened, and I would like that to not be an issue. I want my kids to grow up not in the back of their head going, "What the heck is that?" In my kids' park. I love my kids. I'd do anything for them, and I don't see what place this has in our parks. These are children. These are areas that are supposed to be safe for them, to where they're able to play without their parents being concerned that they're going to see something they shouldn't. You know, I just plead with you guys that you would think about that. These are places that are supposed to be safe for our kids. That they're not going to see something that's going to twist their mind or scare them, or, you know, just things that aren't appropriate for them. I don't want my little girls seeing this kind of stuff in our town. I love our town. This is a great place. It's a great place to raise kids. I would like it to stay that way. And you guys are a big part of that. And I would like you to really think about that. There's angry people. There's a lot of people getting twisted up pretty hard about this. My little girls aren't angry. They just want to go about life without seeing stuff that they don't need to see. So thank you. Let's get after this. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. That'll be the end of the public comments. We've had 20 minutes in aggregate. I appreciate everyone that sat through this and listened. And we will now move on to the next agenda item.